Hello, and welcome to another installment of Idiot with a Soldering Iron. I'm your village idiot, Adam, and today we are going to take a look at this, however you pronounce that, 852. I believe this is a knockoff of a Hakko. Little cheap Chinese deal. I got it about a year ago on eBay. I believe I spent about somewhere between $40 and $50 to my door, so very, very cheap soldering station. As you can see, it's got, your soldering temperatures here. You got your hot air side here. Like I said, I've been using it for a year, and I have never had any problem with it. Got the typical Hakko looking wand here. It uses, just your standard bits, and everything is, I'm knocking you everywhere. As far as I can tell, it's same as a Hakko. So, now granted, yes, I am a little late to the game. Apparently there's a big controversy going on with Hakko right now, not putting fuses in their new soldering irons, or soldering stations, whatever you would like to call them. So we're going to take a look inside this little cheap Chinese one here, and go through it, and actually let's see if it's actually worth a shit compared to the Hakkos. So let me get set up here, and we'll be right back. Alright, now, see, as you can see here, we got the little wand here. Little replacement deals. I really do not like the setup of these. Makes it a little difficult to, you gotta have a screwdriver. You gotta hold this nut, so you need a screwdriver, pliers, just to tighten up the cone, or the tips here. Which, granted, when it's cold, not a problem. When it's hot, you're trying to switch tips out. It's a pain in the ass. I'm impatient. I hate waiting around. I ain't got time for waiting for tips cooling down. So I usually just grab them off with a pair of pliers. So if bury the holder here, it does come with a fairly decent metal, I think it's cast aluminum base. I just use this for storing junk. These little wires here are great for replacing broken traces. Let's see if I can do this without making an absolute. You can see it here. The one thing I did do is this bottom part was plastic. Where I was working at, I had some access to a piece of stainless steel here, so I just took the plastic off and cut this piece of stainless to put in there, because I did melt the bottom of this with the iron. There I go, losing my wires everywhere. Those will end up in my foot, I'm sure. So, it is, from the outside, pretty decent soldering iron. Again, this comes unplugged. And, there we go. It's coming. There. So I guess that's I'm not really sure what plug that is, but that's what the plug is on the actual iron. Now, the hot air side, this is, physically attached here. Really don't want to take this off. It's not, easily removable, because you do have, you have the wires that go up through here, along with your air supply. So, Not really too easy to take this off like it is the actual soldering iron. So, alright. Well, take this off and just kind of hang her down. So, moment of truth. Do we think this has a fuse in the back of it? Leave your answers down below in the comments, and while you're there, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Ooh, we're looking promising. It says fused. I don't know if you guys can make that out. Let me try. Move. Alright. Well, if you can, it says SMD rework station, input 110 volts, power 270 watts, made in China, fused 8 amps. So, get my lights back on here. So it does say that it is fused. Well, let us pop this fuse out of here and actually take a look. There it is. Oh, it feels like it. Oh, little cheap $50 rework station from China, eBay. And look, there's an 8 amp fuse. Well, it says F8AL 250 volt. So this is a fast blow 8 amp 250 volt fuse. What the hell, Hakko? Now, I've never been into name brands or what's, popular. I've always been with what can I afford and what can get the job done. Just because it is the newest, hottest, latest, and greatest does not necessarily mean that it is the best for you. Now, trust me, I don't do this professionally. This is just a hobby, a little something to keep me from smoking crack and hooking in the evenings. So this is by no means a commercial setup, but it has had a lot of use. Like I said, I've had it for, I'd say, at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years. It might be a little closer to 2 years that I've had this set up. Never an issue. I have noticed there's been a few times, and I've yet to figure out why, and maybe we can figure that out now, is sometimes on the hot air side, it's the air will putter out, like something's, kinking the hose or something like that. And I haven't noticed that, that I'm kinking the hose while using it, but it'll, just the airflow isn't there, so. But then you can, shut it off and come back a little while later and it'll work just fine, so. Alright, we are in like sin. And that fuse is actually hooked up. We are grounded. We are ground here. Really not a whole lot to it, but we are fused. On the hot side. So this comes out, goes into our transformer. So before it even goes into the transformer, we're fused right here, protected. So that incident that Dave over at EEV Vlog had, not an issue with this little $50. I mean, come on, Hakko. $50 for this, and it's got a fuse. I'm scared to even look at the prices of your guys' equipment because I know poor old white boy here ain't going to be able to afford it. So, fused right off the hop. Got our air tank, our motor or compressor here, like some kind of reservoir or intake out into it. Okay, that's weird. I've never been inside one of these, but I'm wondering if that's to kind of help filter out anything particulate wise, moisture wise. I'm not really sure why they have it going into there. Motor is isolated on these really nice rubber mounts down there. You guys can see that. But yeah, things, solid. I mean, that appears to be Loctite on the transformer. Or is that? Yeah, I don't know, some kind of cancer-causing schmoo down there. So, really not a whole lot to it. I mean, you've got the main brains of the operation, which really isn't a whole lot. I mean, it's a bunch of, resistors and some transistors, capacitors, just, temperature sensing is really all it does. And you've got your motor control for this motor speed, I'm assuming. This is unplugged, by the way. Not in here just willy-nilly in it. We got grounded, hot air side here. It's got the ground lead, and then we got the actual soldering iron is also grounded. So we got a total of 3 grounds coming in here. Yeah, seems pretty solid. I mean, a little schmoo on the connectors, make sure that they don't come out. But yeah, for the most part, it's really not a whole lot to it. Now, I'm not going to completely tear this thing completely apart for the fear that I might break it. And this is my only station currently, so. But yeah, Hakko, what the hell, man? This is unacceptable. I mean, $50 I paid for this thing. And it's fused. It ain't gonna burn my fucking house down. Oh, Hakko. Have the mighty have fallen.